Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yubeng. Okay, I'm from IMU, and welcome to the International Medical University's event entitled Dialogue with CEO. Now, we have this event, this dialogue event, and it brings together business leaders from a variety of very different industries with unique background and experience. These CEOs can share their struggles, their triumphs, and this gives participants an opportunity to learn and be inspired by the CEO so that they can provide new ideas and fresh perspectives to entrepreneurship. Today, we've got a very special guest. With me today is Dr. Muaz Omar, the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of Selgate Healthcare Malaysia. Now, if I were to read his CV, it's a long CV, it's got lots of achievements there, but it suits us to say that he's been through many universities and many tertiary institutions, amongst which there's St. Andrews, there's Monash University, he's got a Doctor of Business Administration from UNIS Business School, right? That's in conjunction with the Swiss School of Management, and he's also got a certificate from Harvard University. Behind him is a good 2 decades of solid experience in terms of healthcare management, property management, and has been through many places. He's worked with places such as KPG Healthcare, Oxley Holdings in Singapore, and now currently in Selangor State Development Corporation, PKNS. Okay, so he's got a lot of experience behind him, 2 decades worth, lots of degrees behind him as well. And what I want you to do is join me in giving him a very big hand in welcoming him to this Dialogue with CEO event. Okay, Dr. Muaz, welcome to our Dialogue with CEO. So first of all, just want you to introduce yourself to us, who you are and what you represent. Dr. Muaz.
Hi, my name is Dr. Muaz Omar. I'm the MD and CEO of Selgate Healthcare. I don't need to go through my CV, but basically I'm just a simple boy from a simple family, born in Penang, grew up there, moved to KL, the whole family, when I was in Form 2, and I finished my secondary education in Bukit Bintang Boys School in PJ. I was lucky to get a patronage scholarship to study medicine in the UK. And from there onwards, I finished my master's in Monash, and I did my doctorate in business admin, and also a certificate in Harvard. I love all kinds of sport, always try to be active. As they say, healthy body keeps an active mind. And I'm an inquisitive person, always trying to find something new, innovative and effective ways of doing things. Never satisfied with myself. And currently with Selgate Healthcare, we are rolling out the first private and state government vaccination program. Hopefully we can get out of this doldrum as soon as possible and get on with our lives as normal as can be. So I guess that's a good start. I don't know, maybe you can shoot me with more killer questions. We can help to us answer that.
Okay, don't worry, Dr. Muaz, no killer questions here. Killing is not a word we'd like to use under such circumstances, especially with COVID around. Okay, but basically, you've introduced yourselves to us. So what is your main job on a daily basis, being a CEO and a managing director of Selgate Healthcare? What do you do there?
Right, Selgate Healthcare, we are a healthcare group. We have a chain of GP clinics, some retail pharmacies, few outlets. We have dental clinics as well. We are in the midst of completing our first hospital in Rawang. And we have about another 7 or 8 more planned in different phases. So hopefully in the next decade, we'll probably be managing some almost 1,000 beds, hospital beds. We also have an insurance company under Selgate Healthcare. We also have a home nursing setup, and also soon our own lab as well. So Selgate Healthcare is about 5 years old, really new kid on the block in terms of the industry, but we strive, and because we are lean, decision making is fast. We try to be more quick and decisive, and make all the business decisions as time is of essence here. So whilst other giants in the industry are more established, we have to move fast, we have to fly. So managing more than 15 companies under the group, it takes a lot of time. And yeah, I mean, it's never ending work, but it's okay.
Okay. Thank you for that. I can see you're excited by it. All right. So my next question is, look, you said you are 5 years old. Your company is 5 years old. I correct that. So in that 5 years, do you operate like an established company, or do you still have like a startup mentality? And what does it need if you are either a startup or an established company? Are there different skills, different requirements to it? Back to you.
Yeah, we still have that startup mentality. I think the whole idea of being lean is that we are able to make fast decisions, business decisions, and whilst established companies will have more process and procedures in place, we kind of fasten that route, i.e. we take away all the red tapes and bureaucracy, and it's all about outcomes and decision and results. So we can't wait for that. So in a startup mentality, yes, we are, but as we grow, as our human resource, our manpower increases, so a lot of it will be, I mean, we are moving towards being an established and traditional group with more strict process and procedures in place. However, we do need to and have bear in mind that 5 years old, and whilst we are growing, we cannot stop and be more process driven. So outcomes and results are still our main focus. So yeah, that's the difference. That's what we are, and that's how we are forward looking towards that.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. That gives us a bit of an idea. And just to help our students out as well, I suppose I can say that being 5 years old and also growing, there is room for you to hire people into your establishment. Can I say that?
Yes, we are hiring people at an exponential rate. But of course, also depends on our needs and also the business expansion as we see and while to grow. Yeah, we do.
Okay. Right. Now, since you are employing people as well, can I take it that Cellgate is established in the state of Selangor only, or do you intend to, go beyond borders, beyond Selangor?
We're not only in Selangor. We have businesses in Perak, in Kedah, in Terengganu.
Okay.
Others, we also plan to build one hospital in Johor Bahru.
Okay.
So we're not jago kampung, if you want to put it that way. So yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm not going to repeat that now, students. You heard this directly from the CEO's mouth. Okay. You know who to apply. But now moving on quickly. In our current situation, we are of course in the midst of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. Would it be possible for you to share with us things that Sellgate or Selgate Healthcare is doing or playing their part in terms of COVID-19?
Right. COVID-19 and the pandemic is with us for more than a year now. when it first smacked us in the face, Selgate Healthcare, we have proposed to the Selangor State to do mass testing. So initially, that was our focus, and I think a lot of people, especially in Selangor, has taken up that free mass testing and able to help. We would then be able to help to test, identify, and isolate these people. So that was what we started out with. Now the testing is still ongoing. However, our new project that we have undertaken is the COVID vaccination program under the state government of Selangor, open to the industrial workers and also the B40 groups, elderly and frontliners as well. So this is a new project and a much more high profile and a bit more demanding work right now. So yes, testing and now vaccination. We are undertaking it at the same time.
Okay, good. Thank you. Just out of curiosity, there is this app called Selangka. Are you all responsible for that as well?
Yes, Selangka is one of the subsidiaries that we own. The app, we own 60% of it, Selgate Healthcare, and we run the app as a super app, and we hope to expand the services, expand the offerings to the public, and hopefully it will become useful in our daily lives. Yes.
Okay, and I can give you live feedback that I love that app compared to the other app. I won't mention which other app. Okay, I'm sure you can figure that one out. So you got a testimony from me live.
Yes.
Okay. Now moving on very quickly. Okay. Now you are in charge of a huge number of businesses within Cellgate Healthcare. Okay. You've also showed us now, intimated that you came from Penang. Now, when you went from Penang to do your degree in St. Andrews, and later on as you moved into healthcare and healthcare management per se, during the time you were in St. Andrews, did it dawn on you that you wanted to be in healthcare management? Or how did that happen? Can you share a bit more with us?
Well, funny enough, my first ever flight was actually from KL to London. I've never taken a flight before then. Yeah, I mean, it was an experience. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I wanted after SPM was to go overseas. Want to learn more, meet new people, broaden my experience, learn new things. In St. Andrews, first year of medicine was horrendous. Actually, it was really, really tough because that wasn't my initial or the thing that I wanted to do. I was offered to do medicine because that's my only way out of the country. So I wanted to study overseas, and medicine was the only one available for me because I was in a science stream before then. Nowadays, you can have a mixture of science and art, social science and arts. But at that time, during our schooling days, you don't have a choice. You're either science stream or art stream, and the choices are limited. When I wanted to do law, so first year was tough. But I knew back then in St. Andrews that I didn't want to be a doctor. I don't want to have a career in medicine. But I know that I have a strong base in science, and my management qualities were evident at that time as well. So I knew I had to do something in healthcare, but not being a doctor per se. So yes, I made a career choice after I finished St. Andrews in preclinical studies. I was lucky enough to also get a scholarship from Monash University to do my master's in healthcare management. So that's where I am, and yeah, I never look back.
Okay, good. Now, I'm very thankful you share these type of stories. These are very personal stories, okay? Because we too have students who started off in medicine or the discipline in which ultimately they may discover it's not their choice. If there are students listening right now, what would you say to them? If you know the study or the discipline they are studying right now isn't, or they couldn't find love in it, what would you like to say to them based on your experience?
I think it's a life process. You won't face this until you go through it, and you won't be able to find solutions to it until you are in it. In that sense, my life experience, your life experience may differ, but one thing that you should know is to never give up. It's easy to just drop and come back, but I had to persevere, and we all do. It's an experience that you have to go through. You will never learn if you don't fail. So you fail once, you learn again, you relearn, and I think that is most important. So of course, at 17 years old, you wouldn't know where you'll end up. You wouldn't know at that moment of time that this is what you want to do. You don't. You just have to go through it. You have to go through the process. And yeah, education is one process, but it's not the only process. You may face different challenges, something that you're not passionate about, um, something that you're not 100% into, something that you don't aspire to be. However, you do need to go through this. It may be for different reasons. It may be a choice that is offered to you. It may be a choice that is forced upon you. You just have to bite the bullet and move on. Failing once doesn't mean you'll fail all the time. So yeah, like I said, I mean, I went through the hard way. I'm sure a lot of people went through the hard way as well. Some people may have it easy for them, but it's never the whole story, isn't it? So in the end, um, hopefully your life experience will mature you and be able to ensure that you make the right decisions in the future.
Yep. Thank you for that. That's wise words coming from someone so young. I can say that because I'm guessing that I'm older than you. All right.
I don't think so.
No, but what you shared just now is the reality of life. You know, a failure at any one stage doesn't mean the end of it. It's a journey, and it's a journey of accumulating experiences through the failures as well as through the successes. We all do that. All right. So thank you for sharing that. I think it's important for students to know, and for anyone listening or hearing this dialogue with CEO, that failure doesn't necessarily be the end of the story. It is part of a continuum, part of a journey. And we learn more through our failures than from our successes.
Agree.
Okay, so I take it that you went to St. Andrews, you realized something deep within yourself, you knew what you needed to do. You discovered perhaps your love for law, and then eventually you realized that there was something else that you were good in. That's in terms of management. You went over to Monash, all right? You did a degree in there, and later on you perhaps did higher degrees in terms of management. Looking back right now, is this what you still wanted to do? Would you change anything?
I wouldn't change anything. I mean, the difficult challenges the successes that it brings, it all balance out. It will balance out in the end. And yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, I couldn't do law, so I married a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
That completes me, isn't it? And for me, and when I was brought up, my mom was a nurse. She was a senior nurse, matron, and I think it's about doing good and the ability to do more and do more good. So I think that what pushed me till now. And I think whatever that we have gone through, whatever you'll all be going through, so you should never do things, or you should never denounce that. You should accept it and embrace it. And yeah, I would never change a thing. I would never change a thing. I would do it all over again. I'll probably do the same mistakes again. But from there on, you learn.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can relate to what you've just shared. Okay. I've also had my share of adventures, if I were to put it that way, through universities, through academia, and through work as well. Wouldn't also change a thing. They ultimately build us up the way we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, moving on, I want to know a little bit about your leadership style. I mean, all your experiences, whether it's St. Andrews, Monash, Harvard, and so on, as well as to the combination of people that you meet, people that you work with, must have, and not forgetting your parents and your teachers, must have formed the person which you are. You definitely have a style of leadership. What is your style of leadership? Did it change during the time when you were 17 or by the time you finished St. Andrews? Between that time to now, did it change? Did it, morph into a different style? Did you learn something else? Do you incorporate something else? I'd like to hear a bit more from your end regarding that, Dr. Muaz.
When you're young, I mean, there's always a rush of blood. Your adrenaline is always pumping. You tend to be more, I would say, you do first before you think.
Mm-hmm.
And
more reactive in a way?
More reactive, more, how do I say, you don't consider everything before you start doing something. Mm-hmm. It is good. That's a form of idealism, and I think as young people, I mean that is your strength. But what you need to do is to channel that and ensure that it is productive. So my leadership style now is probably different than when I was young. Okay. I was in student activism as well, organizations. I like that. I like organizing events, so on and so forth. It is one of my key qualities before. So I was leading several student organizations overseas as well. And yeah, I mean, it's something that I like and I'm good at. But as you grow and as you face different experiences in work, among communities, among different stakeholders, you learn to be more amenable and be more flexible. And you don't just think that you're right all the time. You may have strong feelings about something. You may have certain ways of doing things, but you need to also listen to the other side of the coin. So yes, before, if I can't get anyone to do it, I will do it myself because I know it can be done. And yes, it should be done. However, you do need to now I feel that I'm more amenable to ideas, counter ideas, opposing ways of doing things. So your leadership style and qualities evolve. And that's important. Don't ever think that you are always right. There's always the other point of view that you have to consider, and in order to execute things effectively, it's not only about the end result, but also the people that you bring along with it, and if possible, and hopefully there is the end outcome is everyone gains everything. It's not just about you, it's about everyone else. So yeah, I think that's me. And one more thing, I learned to delegate as well. But delegate doesn't mean that you are not aware of it, or you let go 100%. You do need to guide as well. So, but yeah, I sometimes my ways are not Malaysian enough, because I tend to push people, because I know the capacity for them to improve is there, and I will demand more. And I'm a demanding person myself, of the people around me, at home, with my kids. Same.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that as well. You've already shared your leadership style. Okay. You've also said that you've shifted. You're not really the same person as you were when you were younger. You've learned to listen, understand both sides of the argument, both sides of the coin, as you put it. Now, if there are people who do not want to listen to you or to follow you, how do you persuade them to do so? You said you've listened to them, but now coming up to persuasion, or the ability to bring people on board onto the train or the direction which you want to move. How do you do that? And if at all, how does one, let's say our students, how does one learn such skills? Back to you.
You are, in order to ensure your goal is achieved, there must be a common goal. The team must share the same goal and the same vision. And when you are working in a group, in a company, in an organization, in a community, you do need everyone's buy-in into that. And in order to do that, there will be internal challenges. In this manner, internal communication is very important among team members, among those key people that needs to push this through. There are also external communications, whether it's with your stakeholders, your clients, so on and so forth. So there is only one captain on a ship, right? There cannot be two captains, because it'll be chaos. You won't be able to go wherever you want to. And there must be a leader. In the end, you make your case, even though you disagree with the end decision, consensus taken, or whatsoever. But you cannot not be a team player. So, and you expect that among all your team members. Yeah. in order to do that, everyone must share the same goal. Like I said before, same goal, same vision. What do you want? You may have different opinions on how doing of the ways to do it, but in the end, you want the same thing, and that is very important to start off with. From there, all these uh, factors, implementation, execution of it comes along. So yes, there must be one goal, there must be one leader, and then the ship will move forward. If not, you'll be going in circles, roundabouts, and you will get nowhere. So important to ensure that your team is being persuaded to share the same goal and share the same outcome. So as a leader, I feel that responsibility, and I think that's the only way to go. Unless you do have rogue elements within the team that you need to outcast or remove those elements from within your team. But that is very few. Yeah, you'll face those incidents, those situations, but in the end, most everyone would want the same thing.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's deep and effective as well. Okay, I now want to address the students and everyone who is watching us live right now. There's an opportunity for you to post questions to Dr. Muaz Omar as well. So if you have any questions you'd like to post, please post it onto the chat to my team members. And I forgot to introduce my team members. My team members are Doreen Lim and Najwa. Okay, they are assisting me. All right. Now post it to them. Okay. Then I will ask either Doreen or Najwa what are the questions that have been asked from the students and the people who are attending this particular webinar. Okay, so I repeat, there's an opportunity for you to post questions to Dr. Muaz. These questions, by the way, are filtered, of course. Okay, we filter and we choose the right, good, nice ones. Okay, we don't want to do embarrassment for anybody. All right, so now that I've asked the crowd attending for questions, okay, I just want to move on. Okay, so I understand it, being a captain, being a leader, okay, requires a direction, a shared vision, if not mission, for the entire team. All right, okay. And so on top of that, besides all those leadership skills, are there any essential skills that you can identify that an aspiring leader or a student right now should be able to get under their belt, because this would be good for them in the future? Any particular essential skill, or in the past we used to call them transferable skills. Nowadays we call them essential skills. Is there anything that you reckon would be an important one for students to have? Back to you.
I would put it all down to one thing. It's your work ethic, attitude, your hard work. These are not skills that you cannot learn. These are a necessity in nowadays environment. If you don't have the right work ethic, if you are not hardworking, and if you don't have the right attitude, you'll be left behind. You can't think that by being special, or if you think you're the most talented, you have to show it. A lot of people have many talents, but unused because they are unable to show it. And who is going to listen to you unless you show it? So I value members of my team, my company, people around me that can show results, that can prove that they are hardworking, they have the right and the right work ethic and the right attitude. To me, this is very important. Something that you should have. It is a must-have. And when you have it, and when you can show and display that, people will take notice of it. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a smoother journey all the way up. Your career pathway will be much more evident, and people can appreciate your work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always inborn mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you may not be born with it, but it's something that you are able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Work ethic, hardworking,
Mm-hmm.
right attitude. You don't need to teach that, and you don't learn of it in classrooms as well. It's something that you must have. So I would put it down to all these three.
All right, good. Thank you. It's always nice hearing it from your mouth or somebody else's mouth, because sometimes when I repeat that to my students, they don't believe me. Okay? So I'm being serious here. All right, I'm facing a new generation who may look at things slightly differently. But anyway, I've got some questions. Okay, our students have posed some questions. I think we've got a good number of questions here. I'm going to pick and choose some of them. Okay, and I'll ask Dr. Muaz directly. Okay, and these ones are not from me. Okay, these are from our students and the people who are attending this webinar. The question is, Dr. Muaz, qualifications up to a PhD, does that help your business setup? Or how applicable are academic qualifications in a business world? Would you like to give feedback on that?
I mean, you do need certain, well, nowadays, I mean, when I was moving into the career world, that piece of paper is the only thing that you can sell yourself with. Yeah, to get into a job at that time requires that piece of paper, certificate, diploma, degree, master's, PhD. But it also boils down to what you want. I'm sure in your line of work, especially at IMU, I mean, you do need certain qualifications to be qualified. I mean, regulation-wise, you do need a PhD to become a professor, so on and so forth. But if you are working, for example, in a creative industry, it's more of what you have done. It's not about the paperwork. So it very much depends on what you are heading to. If academic is your line and what you aspire to be, you cannot run away from going through the degree, master's, PhD, if academic is your line. But if you are looking at more a different industry and one that you aspire to be and to do it well, then what have you done in practical sense? What have you worked with? What have you produced? Your portfolio, those are important. So it very much depends on what you want. And I wouldn't say that paper qualification is all good. but it's not the only thing. I needed that before in order to put me into places. But yeah, it is not the only thing, definitely. Of course, portfolio work, where you've been, the experiences that you've had is also important. You'll probably be making lots of money working on your own, producing YouTube videos, yeah, TikTok videos, say that. But those people who made lots of money from there actually produces something. So you can't deny that. But what those the one who asked the question, I mean, he or she wants to move into something, show it, do it. That's whether you go into academic world, different industries, be it whatever it may be, online business, doesn't matter, but do it. And you have the time. Being youthful is an advantage because you have the time and energy to do it. So don't waste your time.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for that advice. Moving on from that advice, okay, two students or two requesters have asked the same question. What MBA or university would you recommend? There are many types of MBAs, of course. I'm sure you know that. Okay.
My son asked me the same question as well, just last week. Can I assume that the person is in medical line?
Yes.
Medicine?
Yes.
Pharmacy?
Medicine,
health
pharmacy,
sciences?
Health sciences, okay. They are interested along the lines of management of healthcare.
Management of healthcare.
Yes.
There are a few MBAs around in healthcare management. I know IMU also offers that as well. So I would also suggest those students to look into that as well. But I would probably look at the university first, compared to the paper qualification that they offer or the program, because not so much of the name, but it gives you a different standing. University A, B, C may have different standings in terms of recognition, and recognition is important nowadays in order to move and fasten your pace career-wise. And I do think, for me, if it was me, I would look at the university and the standing, the credibility of it. Then you choose one that would fit you most and suitable and will enhance you. I would go for an MBA General first.
Okay.
Why? Because it gives me a wider scope, flexible enough for me, rather than unless you really know that you are into MBA marketing, you can do straight away MBA marketing. But for me, as much as possible now, after finishing your first degree, you won't really know the niche that you are going into. From an MBA General, you'll be able to zoom in. Outside of Malaysia, I would suggest always United Kingdom. There are a few universities there, good universities. Australia is one that you can consider as well. Melbourne. Melbourne Uni is good. But look at, if you go to UK, where I studied there as well, look into those that will allow you more room to grow, more recognition to gain. And yeah, I mean, the rest would be fine. But if you want to go to specific industry like finance, so on and so forth, there's always finance, HR, MBA, marketing. Yeah. So if you know that is what you want, go ahead. If you ask me, I would take something much more general. I will learn everything and then do something that you are really good at later on.
Okay. Okay, good. That's good advice. Okay, so you've heard it from a CEO himself on what path, what further MBA qualifications if you need to do so. All right. Still, more questions coming from our listeners or people online right now. They're very interested. The questions are now pouring in. Okay, so I will try to ask the questions in a more generic or general form. Okay. Now, there's a question about Selgate Healthcare. Okay. What are you most proud of in terms of Selgate Healthcare? And is there anything you would like to change? Now, after this question, I would like to temper that question by saying, please do not reveal anything that you're not supposed to reveal on the public domain to us. Okay? If you're not ready to reveal it, don't reveal it. But the question is about what are you most proud about Selgate Healthcare? And is there anything you would like to change Selgate Healthcare, if any?
Well, I've never stopped thinking of it because I've never stopped working. If you ask me, we have, well, because I demand a lot from myself. So I wouldn't point to one thing that I think what we have achieved is satisfactory, because if I think my work and where we are is good enough, I'll quit now, because there's no more challenge for me here. So because I'm still in Selgate Healthcare, I still feel there are a lot more things to do, a lot more things to work on.
Okay.
And that's the challenge that I look up to. So, but one thing that I take pride is we are able to grow, and we are able to bring in people, able to provide for these people, and they can therefore provide for their families. I think that warms me. I mean, give me a fuzzy feeling, and that's why I like to grow things. I like to build up things, and hopefully they can, flourish and further move on. And like I said, I'm still here. I'm still with Selgate because I still think there's a lot more things to do. We're so young, yeah, and sky's the limit. And in that sense, yeah, I like the challenge. But you should also look at the human side of it. And this is not about the company making money. It's Selgate Healthcare is a big social enterprise. Whilst we have to be profitable, at the same time, we do provide in the form of corporate social responsibility and different other many other things. So, what was the second part of the question again? I lost that.
Is there anything that you would like to change within Selgate?
I don't know. Probably get someone better than me running it. If you think you are better than me, good enough within any people. I mean, within the team, please, because to me, it's all about making good and do more good. And yeah, I mean, we are here, we are a social enterprise, and we do want more talented people. I think I'd like to invite, extend that invitation to everyone. And like I said, I mean, if there's someone else much more capable than me to come in my team, I'll be more than happy. I mean, it's all about merit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And capability. So yeah, I wouldn't change a thing, but I would like to have much more talented people joining the group, expand the ideas, bring in new things into the company. That's what I probably do.
Okay, good. Thank you. Since you touched on expansion, bringing new things, right? This is the good opportunity for me to ask you. I take it that you're still learning, you're still growing, you're still learning new things. So on the theme of learning new things, could you share with us new things that you've just learned, or books, new books that you've just read that taught you new things? Or it could be something new that you've tried or you've found out that has opened a completely different perspective within yourself. Would you like to share that with us?
Yeah. I guess a recent thing that probably comes to mind is, while you think that you are at the top, you should always remember that the higher you go, the harder you'll fall. So never always think that what you have achieved is everlasting, right? So always know that you do need to come back to reality, and learning to accept criticism, because people will always push you up while you are doing well, but they'll stamp on you when you're down. So be humble, and always do not, how do I say this? Do not think what you have gotten and where you are now is always going to last, if it's a good thing. And always think, on the other hand, if you're down, it's also going to last that way. So it's a never-ending cycle. But you learn, relearn, unlearn, and relearn again.
And how difficult for you to unlearn or relearn?
Difficult? I don't think everyone should think it's difficult to unlearn and relearn. Because, I mean, if you think in that grandiose manner that you are untouchable, you will never understand the meaning of the word learning or relearn or unlearn, because you think you're complete, you think you're perfect. Nobody is. So you need to constantly do that. If not, then you'll probably be living on your own, and that's not good, isn't it? So yeah, you have, like I said just now, be humble and understand that nothing will last. Whether you're on top or at the bottom, nothing will last. You have to keep on learning.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Nokia. I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know Nokia. I don't think the young people nowadays know what is Nokia, what was Motorola. They never learned. They did learn, and they didn't relearn, and they're not no more. They're not a player what they used to be.
Yeah. For those listening to us, all right, if you're doing an MBA, you will learn about Nokia. You'll learn about BlackBerry RIM, okay? You'll learn about Motorola as well. Trust me, you will, because they will be part of the business studies or the case studies there. Okay, so I'll leave you in tenterhooks on those names of those companies and many, many more to come. Okay, one final question. It's an intriguing question coming from one of our listeners here. Okay, and I will quote the listener. Okay, I understand the mission of Selgate Healthcare is to create value which benefits the constituents and the target community at large and promises balanced returns to the shareholders' wealth. Okay, how do you do that? How do you balance that? How do you balance shareholder return to benefits, creating value that benefits the constituents as well as the targeted community? How does a CEO do that?
It's not a CEO's decision.
Okay.
It's a company's vision.
Okay.
And all visions are all well and true on paper, but how you do it, any big corporations must have a big social responsibility as well. It has to be sustainable. If a capitalist striving only for dollars and cents, bottom line, profit, it will not end, and you will end disastrously for that particular company. It may be doing well, but the intent, the operations of it, the finality of the company will not be good. Yeah. So Selgate, we understand we are a state Selangor State Government's JLC, and by becoming a JLC, we understand from the very beginning that we have to be profitable in order for us to contribute more. Yeah. So I take, for example, the vaccination program under Selvax that we are running now. There's 2.5 million doses of vaccine that we intend to purchase and roll out. 2 million doses or 1 million workers, industrial workers, we have to sell to the industries and companies. And at the same time, we cross-subsidize and give free 500,000 doses or 250,000 people. That's how we do it. It's about delegating wealth. It's about transferring wealth in an equal manner. So that's what we do, and that's what we strive for. Almost everything that we do, we know we have to contribute. It's a bigger responsibility compared to any multinational corporations whose end game is only dollars and cents, bottom line, profits. We, on the other hand, have a different philosophy, different means to it, and different intent. We have to balance out making profit, yes, but also contribute to make it better, livelihoods better, healthcare, access, and so on and so forth. So that's how we do it. Balancing act.
Balancing act, it is. Okay. With that balancing act, okay, I want to thank you for allowing us to trespass on your time. It's been a good 1 hour, and see, the 1 hour passes so fast when you're having fun. All right. And before we go off, I'd like to invite every one of you here, okay, to please turn on your cameras. We would like to take a group photo with Dr. Muaz Omar. Can everyone here please turn on your cameras, please? You don't have to turn on your microphones. Just turn on your cameras. We want to take that nice, big, happy family group photo. Ah, good. I'm seeing more and more people now. Okay. Najwa or Doreen, okay, you do the countdown and tell me when you've taken it or the various pages that you've taken it. Okay.
Okay. I'll just give them a few more minutes to turn on the video.
Okay. For those of you whose attention is elsewhere, but the computer is still running, okay, we want to take a group photo. Please join us, turn on your cameras, and we would love to take a group photo together, just to commemorate, to remember this occasion by. We can't be together, but it's good. We can be anywhere else, but in the same room, we still would like to take a group photo. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Ready? Smile, give us a big smile.
Okay, on my count to 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Okay. Any more?
Okay. No.
Okay.
I'm good. Yes.
All right, good. Thank you, Najwa and Doreen. Okay. I forgot to introduce my colleagues, Najwa and Doreen. They are definitely central to our organization and our team. Without them, I can't be running this event. But I would also like to thank each and every one of you who's also attended. I think I see Prof. To appearing there. Hi, Prof. To. Okay. And definitely, I would like to thank Dr. Muaz Omar, who is the Managing Director, as well as the CEO of Selgate, and for his time, for his sharing, as well as all the ideas, and also answering the questions which our students and our participants have posed to him. So join me in thanking him. Okay, thank you. And I wish you all, everyone here, to be safe during this very difficult period that our country is facing right now. Okay, isolate, go for your vaccination, do what you must. Okay, let's help one another to get our country out of the situation that we are currently in. With that, I thank all of you. Okay, and see you next time when we have our next session of Dialogue with CEO. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.